D did not get a card this turn. That means that instead of getting a reinforcement card, like Zvenigan did, and Zvenigan used it, Dr. D did not get his, so now he's down a piece, and he's down even more reinforcement. Instead of just this 5 reinforcement deficit, now he's down by 10 for this turn. And he also playing his order priority, decides to make a big attack. What's he going to do with it? Oh, he moves to Afghanistan, because he wanted to put most of his stuff in Scott instead. That's a fine move, and Dr. D moving into Omsk to threaten West Russia. He also works on Greenland a lot, and then captures New Zealand and blockades Georgia. That's, oh yeah, I actually like that move. Although I personally probably would have done it with one more guy than he did, because that's not really much. And we see turn 10 continuing on. Dr. D gets his reinforcement card and plays it now. That will help him overcome the reinforcement deficit. He puts most of it in New South Wales. And then one in Omsk, 2 in Pakistan. Wow. Svenigan really likes doing small moves to delay his other moves. I remember you doing this a lot too. It's been a long time since I've done it this much though. And Dr. D playing an order of delay. Gets repelled from Iran, does not manage to capture that, but he does capture Afghanistan. And then going back into New Zealand, because as we see here, Svenigan 20 to 21 hits it with 19 and goes down to 8. So that 9 attacking goes down to 6. So 9 attacking 6 has decent odds. It's just under 60%. Well, it's just over a 60% kill rate. Manages to kill that. Now that helps Dr. D in positioning down here. So at this point, it's a pretty close game. Zvenigan up by 5 though. About to be up by another 5, so that's going to seal it out right there in my opinion. But in terms of positioning, no one has a solid positional advantage. It's just reinforcement and expansion advantages at this point. Turn 11. Oops. Okay, turn 11. Dr. D playing his order priority. What's he going to do with that? He decides to hit Iran with 23. However, Dr. D putting 14 there to defend against that, being knocked down to 2. And playing an order delay to delay a lot of his moves, doing a lot of side moves. Tries to hit Pakistan with 1. If he had 1 extra guy there, if he had 2 instead, he would have been able to capture Pakistan. That would have helped him a lot. But unfortunately, he gets knocked down to only 2 guys left and attacks with the 1 that he could. Not sure I really agree with him going to Tasmania. With Dr. D going to Tasmania. Probably would have done Scott myself just to see if I could get lucky with it. But you know, he killed Zvenigan out of Tasmania instead of killing him out of Scott. Scott would have been more advantageous for him though, because it's not like he has this bonus to defend. And then Zvenigan, when he finishes off Greenland, now he's at a 10 reinforcement advantage. So it's going to be really tough for Dr. D to come back now. Turn 12. Oh. Okay. Oh, I just noticed that Zvenigan messaged me on Skype. I had West Russia safe, and all of his bonuses were in Asia. I got lazy, made a few misplays and over predictions, but D couldn't do anything from Asia after losing Scandinavia. He had no access to my bonuses. Indeed. Yes, Lolowut is back. Go ahead and call him. Answer the call. There we go.
Alright. Yeah, I'm back.
Okay. So we are just finishing off the semifinal round of Zvenigan versus Dr. D. You see that in turn 13, Zvenigan manages to capture Omsk, and both New Zealand and Tasmania to protect Antarctica.
Yet again, we see the just great predictions made by Chev on throughout all of his games. He's just able to accurately predict what his opponent is doing, and this has been why he's just done so well. And I mean, and not to mention his picks are usually probably the most logical in the game. What is really winning him these games is the ability to predict what his opponent is doing, and it's very interesting to watch all this. You know, especially when we're watching it on the stream, it looks like he's seeing what we're seeing. You know, it's funny.
Yes, and we do see that turn 13 he does close it off pretty effectively with a huge attack into Pakistan.
Mm-hmm.
Not much that Dr. D especially can do after that point, especially being down by 13 reinforcements at that time.
And this is, by the way, why I don't want to do a stream live tournament that is no fog, because I believe that takes away the prediction element of this game, which is very important in these fog games, and I think it would just take away from some of the gameplay that we're seeing here. And Chev has no problem with there being a fog at all. It is just completely amazing, and it looks like we're going to have either Hey 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 or Corruptor in the final coming up here. I think my favorite for that game is Hey Hey Hey, just because of how disciplined of a player he is. But it's going to be very interesting seeing either of them fight Sven again. And we've covered 3 games now. I think all 3 of the ones that he's played.
Yep.
Whoever is going to come into this final has full commentary on exactly what this guy is going to do. So this final should be, you know, whoever is going to come into this final should have some accurate statements coming from both of us of, you know, what he's thinking. And even Chev himself has said exactly what he's been thinking. So we'll see how this goes. So shall we wait for Hey 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 and Corruptor's game to end? It looks like it's in turn 18 right now, so
Yeah.
it really can't be going much farther than that. I don't see it breaking turn 20, so it should be ending pretty soon.
If either of them are listening to the stream, please give us an update over your game status. Yeah, well, these other ones are rather long. Another 18 turn game, I guess we could do, and then really we would have to go back to round 1 if we were going to do a different game.
Yeah, so I think we're just going to have to wait for that game to end. Like I said, it doesn't seem like it's going to be much longer. So I guess we could review. Did you already do Arc 77 versus Corruptor?
That was the 18 turn game that I decided not to do.
Not to do. We can gloss over it really quick. I mean,
Okay.
we're not going to really
Sounds
talk
good to me.
much
Yep.
about it, but we'll just go quickly over that game. Like, all right, so basically, let's go to pick. We'll do picks. We'll do somewhere in the middle of the game, and then we'll try to find the turning point. It looks here like the better picking comes from Arc, in my opinion. And I'm looking at this really quickly. I think Arc actually has the stronger picks coming into this game, but Horoptator has the knowledge advantage because we see the West and East Africa are covered by him. So It's very. I
Oh,
like
and
seeing.
also he knows about Sweden as well. He knows about all three territories.
Oh, so he has. It's because he gets a sixth. Is it
Yep.
1 to 6?
Yeah.
Huh.
Sweden was
So
5.
so
Mermaids were 6.
Horopter here. It's this is actually a very interesting first turn because right here we see Ark has the clear advantage in picks, but Horopter has the way clear advantage in knowledge of where his opponent is. This makes uh, this makes him as effective as Shvegian, in my opinion, because he's able to predict what his opponent is doing. Of course, this wouldn't matter for Shvegian because he probably would have already figured it out by now. So let's just gloss over the turns really quick. You know.
Yep.
So we'll
We
just
do
go
see
through.
some very early aggression in around Scandinavia, as would be expected.
Yeah, because of the knowledge that Horopter has. So he's going to use his clear advantage to uh,
And while that happens, Ark did have some reinforcement advantages until turn 7 when Kropstir got Central Russia.
huh.
But then Ark gets North Africa, giving him a little bit more. These guys are still pretty much a stalemate in Scandinavia.
Yeah, it's important for Corruptor that remains a stalemate because if it doesn't, he's screwed. Oh, Ark is able to predict that his opponent is in central Russia, and starts poking around there. That was very interesting on Ark's point of view that he was able to guess that, and it looks like this is a pretty even game, even though with Horopter having the clear advantage at the beginning of knowledge, the clear advantage it picks that Ark had is just pretty strong.
We do see that it yeah, turn 8, Ark never got a card piece. So that means turn 9, with Hropstir being up a card piece, he used his reinforcement card and put a lot of stuff in Finland to hit Norway with 50, killing everything but 1. So that means that he killed the big stack of Ark.
Yeah,
However, Ark has another big stack in Ufa now.
yeah. This shows how clearly important it is. 5 armies can be, especially when you're getting into the big stacks. Because, like I said, all the luck modifiers get really crazy when you get up there. We could even look at the graph. It's just weird how it goes. So right there, Horopter gains the clear advantage of armies, but it looks like Ark's staying in the game because he's able to counter Central Russia. And he has a potential stab at getting up to. Yeah. As we can see, that Ark has some crazy luck going sometimes.
Indeed.
You see, it gets really big when we get into the big stacks because that's when luck really has more of an effect. And then when we get into small stacks, you see it leveling out.
Yeah, and we do see on all the way up at turn 10
This
with
game is pretty even.
yeah, Ark breaks Central Russia and then blockades in Svalbard.
Ooh, because right here is Ark actually has quite a good advantage right here at turn 10, and I guess he's not able to utilize this advantage as well as he wanted. And we can also see that the expansion for Ark is near impossible at this point because the only one that he has is Central America, and that's going to take him quite a bit to chew through. He might get it by the end of the game. I don't remember if he does, but that's not a very efficient bonus to go for. Alright. at this point, I would have rathered him go for the South African bonus as opposed to going for the Central American bonus because it would have it it would have been justifiable.
Yeah.
He ignores it because he knows that South Africa is an inefficient bonus inherently, but in happening to get to Central America, it actually makes South Africa more plausible.
Yep. He does manage to prevent Hraptor from getting back his West Africa, West Russia or Central Russia bonuses for a
Huh.
significant amount of time.
It just looks like he's not able to utilize this advantage that well. And Croptotor is playing an excellent game in terms of keeping himself alive.
Yeah, he's been down by 4 reinforcements for like 4 turns now at turn 13 and still doing pretty well. He's nearly got West Russia back, but then
And he
but
does get it.
that's
Oh
when
wait,
both of
he
them
doesn't get it back.
Yeah, that's when both of them play their reinforcement cards, and that allows Ark to defend it.
And I
Just
think that's where we saw on the luck graph that Horopter gained such an advantage
Oh
because
yes.
when you get into the big stacks are just crazy.
He had an offense luck of 1. Wow. That is crazy.
Yeah. Man.
Huh.
Oh, I see what Ark was doing. His point wasn't to get Central America, it was to be able to counter East China. But
That's a lot
debatable.
of reinforcements used over that time.
Yeah, debatable whether that's a viable strategy in this case. I mean, if he was in Central America, it would be fine. That would be a viable counter, but it looks like he doesn't even complete the Central American bonus. He actually goes full into the counter, which is a weird thing because had he gotten more of an income advantage, I think he would have actually turned the game around.
Yeah. And with him trying to oppose that big stack in West Russia, he's just, flooding that with his reinforcements.
Mm-hmm. Roptator plays it safe. He just keeps it. He keeps hitting it because he realizes his opponent is putting less than he is
Yep.
on it.
And on turn 15, he's not able to. Ark isn't able to dedicate enough to it, and that lets him capture it, and also it lets him capture Israel, so he's now able to threaten Egypt.
Mm. Yeah, what we have here is Ark having a very significant advantage for quite a bit in this game, and just not able to utilize it properly. Roptator able to counter just about anything else that Ark is able to do.
Mm-hmm. And now Crop just deploys, as he evens up the reinforcements at 16-16 again. He puts everything in Israel compared to 11 from Ark, and he just manages to break that, and then that pretty much seals it. Without Ark defending his bonuses, he can't. He's not going to be able to compete very much, even though he does get Central America, so he's still pretty much even in reinforcements.
Mm. But being even at reinforcements, but being down on army.
Yes,
so.
and in positioning.
Yeah, so.
If he had gotten that Central America bonus 3 turns ago, or that South Africa bonus 5 or 6 turns ago, then he would definitely be in a fantastic position right now.
Yeah. There's quite a lot of ways to gain advantages in this game, and you just have to get at least 3 or 4 of them going, and that'll guarantee you a win. And Horoptator just able to get a scrape by 3 or 4, it looks like, in this one, which is positioning armies, and I think card because he does get that card advantage later in the game. I mean, earlier in the game.
Yeah. And then,
So
yeah, the final turn, turn 17, looks like a last-ditch defense in Egypt, and then he spread out a good bit. Some in some in Japan, some in Libya, because he just didn't have enough to really do anything specific. He tries to get Dudinka, fails that, and he's going to end up. Oh, he doesn't. What? Oh, okay, I see what happened. He managed to still prevent him from getting Central Russia, but he was not able to break Shanghai, and then with that, he just wasn't in no
yeah.
position to do much the rest of the game.
Oh.
And then when he lost Japan, there was really nothing else he could have done at all. So he decided to call it there and give Hraptatir the win. So good game, Ark. Congratulations, Hraptatir, for going to the semifinals.
Yeah. All right. Going back to the tournament, it looks like hey, and Hraptatir still playing.
They're up at turn 24 at this point.
I predicted it would end at turn 20. Wow. It must be one of those straggler games, you know, to where one player has not realized that he's disadvantaged, and I don't know, man. I would think hey would be able to pull off a win in this one, but you just never know.
Yep. Okay, well, while we wait for that, we can take a quick bathroom break and maybe get a drink. You guys can do whatever you want. But yeah.
I'll stay here because I actually got a drink and stuff while I was out.
Okay.
So you can go ahead and go.
Yep. Okay,
I'll take care of
then
it.
be right back in a couple minutes.
So, Schwinnigan, how do you feel coming into the finals, knowing that whichever opponent you have is going to have full knowledge on how you play because we've gone through all three of your games? You gotta read the chat. This is hilarious. My hand is on fire. Goes. How do you feel that it's publicly revealed that you won all these games by luck? my my hand is just hilarious. And then Intimidator's on here. Intimidator is a really good play. I mean, it's really funny that these great players are sitting here in the chat and just screwing with everybody, yet they're not playing.
Yeah.
Because Intimidator is really good, and so is my hand. My hand is like up there. I would say my hand is in the top 5 at least. He's had some impressive stuff. He doesn't do ladder though. He's if he was in this tournament, he might be able to beat Shwej, or however you say his name.
Okay, well, Optitier versus Triple H are now up at turn 26.
HHH said that he's going to probably lose it. He said that in the chat. He says he's having a terrible game. And I thought the HHH matchup with Swedge would be a little bit more interesting. Huh. Why you no finish? You know.
Oh, no, never mind. For a second I thought the game ended. Okay, so everyone that's been watching the stream and everything like that, how do you guys like this so far? Like the format of doing things? Like the commentary, the quality, sound, music, everything like that. What's your opinions on it? Anyone got some criticism, suggestions for things to do in the future? We want to make this a weekly thing. What do you guys think about that? Everything. Opinions, we want them.
I was also thinking about perhaps doing a 2 versus 2, but like I said, we're going to have to line that up much farther in advance.
Yeah.
Oh, you want the commentators to play each other?
Well,
the problem with this is that Mythonian would I would be watching.
he'd be watching the
bonus...
stream like a little cheater.
Correct. Yeah, no. It would be a bad idea. Yeah. I think 1 versus 1s are made for medium earth, but 2 versus 2s, it's debatable. I mean, it's doable on medium earth, but there's not really like a map that defines what 2v2 should be. EU is a little bit too big.
Yeah, for a 1v1, that's a bit too big.
No, 2v2.
Oh,
We're
okay.
talking about 2v2. It's still a little bit too big for 2v2. It's perfect for 3v3, but get into 2v2 and it just... No, actually, you would... We could ask them to show us the team chat, but the commentators, I mean, we can kind of guess at, you know, what they were thinking and what they were discussing, and that'll help out. And we could also invite the teams on Skype to talk about stuff. I'm familiar with team games. I play on the 2v2 ladder with JSA, and Mythonian plays on the ladder with Casey Scragg, so
Oh yeah,
It's 2v2.
that's the next game that we're uploading, by the way. If you've watched our Rabina vs. an Unknown Soldier game, then the next game that we're going to be uploading is the Lolowut and JSA one. So be sure to watch
I, th
that.
I thought the one that JSA and I versus you guys was a very interesting game that cataloged two different strategies and why JSA and I's ended up working very well. And Rome, yes, it's pretty good for 2v2s. I think it's I just don't like the one bonuses everywhere. I think that the bonuses are not balanced enough
What
for
map are
a
you talking about
2v2.
again?
Rome.
Oh,
Okay.
I've never played that actually.
Semifinal is good. HHH and Corrupteer just finished.
Oh, okay. And I was just about to set up a game.
What? Nah.
Oh,
All good.
I need to add you to my invite list.
Oh, me?
Yeah, I don't have you
I'm
added
still
yet.
not on your invite list.
Well, I've never invited you to anything. That's why. You've always
But you,
invited me.
yeah, this is true. But my invite list is a little bit bigger than yours. Anyways, let's go to the tournament. It's in tournaments.
Okay.
Multiplayer.
Triple H versus Shroptatir. 28 games. We'll have to do it. Well, no, we don't really have to do it fast because they still have to do the other game. But if we do end up finishing early, then we can do a quick novelty game against each other. Dun dun dun. Okay, so we see Triple H starting in Papua New Guinea, Norway, Chad, Kenya, Venezuela, and Archangels.
It's I would have gone with the no, that's I think he did pretty good picks. I don't know if I agree with the one in Indonesia. I'm having troubles, seeing exactly why we would do that. I thought the Scandinavian West Russia pick should be a little bit higher priority, but I
Yeah.
do like the West Africa and the East Africa picks. Now, as for South America, it's obviously there for counter against Africa, but it's some odd picks from HHH. So let's take a look at Horoptatiers.
We see him going with Norway, Chad, Kenya, Tura, Indonesia, Papua New Guinea, and then Myanmar. So similar picks for in terms of like Norway, Chad, Kenya.
I don't know why both these players are focusing on Indonesia for any of their picks, because I see it as relatively slow, and there's not much places you can go besides Australia, and neither player really stacks up Scandinavia and West Russia as higher picks in their orders, which I find is weird. Obviously, the West Africa and the East Africa picks are solid.
Yep.
I don't know. I think both of them have weird picks going here.
Yeah. Okay,
So,
we see that when territories are distributed, Cropteer gained his first, second, and fourth locations, with Triple H gaining his first, like third and then sixth or something? No, first, fourth, and fifth. So he knows that Cropteer is in Norway and Chad.
So we see that HHH gets the slight advantage in knowledge, but it's not. I don't see how it's really going to help him much, because one of the ones that he knows is Norway, and that's going to be really hard for him to get up to with his picks. So the only pick that he benefits knowing is the West Africa, but Haraptas here also knows that one. So neither player really has an advantage at the beginning. You know, typically we see that one player clearly has an advantage over the other in picks and knowledge, but we're seeing something a little bit more equal.
Indeed.
I think Horoptatier gains the advantage of positioning because it's going to be much harder for HHH to counter him. Huh.
And first turn we see Horoptatier focusing on central Russia. And then, interestingly, Triple H puts several guys in Venezuela to go to Brazil.
Because he's anticipating West Africa. He's going to sandwich it, basically. It's...
I'm just not sure if it would be worth the reinforcements to do that.
Yeah.
Would probably be better to put them in Indonesia and get 2 territories this turn. So we can get it next turn.
The other weird thing is Horoptatier doesn't go for Scandinavia, which is, I think, well...
It would be 2 turns.
It'd be 2 turns. So, yeah, alright. So central Russia is okay. Not sure if I like the way HHH is playing this.
Well, you know, he did. You know what he said in chat.
Yeah.
I think he had a good game.
It happens though.
Yep, and we do see that he did make it up a little bit though. The next turn, since he saw that he wasn't going in West Africa, he decided to get all of South America, which helped him even it out against Horoptatier gain Central Russia.
That was his best move, right there. I agree with it because Horoptatier had to have taken Ghana in order to get to that one bonus. What's it called? The one the farthest left in West Africa.
That's Ghana. You meant Nigeria.
Yeah, I meant Nigeria then. Sorry, he had to get Nigeria in order to border Ghana, and so HHH knew that there was no expansion going on in West Africa. If that was the point. Yeah. So. Okay, move. A pretty good move for HHH right there, which. Yeah, unknowingly he evens it out with Horoptatier in terms of expansion.
Yep, and we see that after that, Horoptatier focuses in Indonesia, in Scandinavia, while Triple H focuses in Indonesia. Almost gets the entire bonus, but he misses barely out in Philippines, while Horoptatier gets all of Scandinavia.
Right, that's an advantage for Horoptatier, but it's not such an overwhelming advantage at this point.
Yeah, because when Triple H gets his bonus in Indonesia, he's going to be 1 extra, so in 3 turns he'll make up the total deficit.
Yeah, so it's not so we're not seeing a clear victor in these beginning turns like we have been in the rest of the tournament. Which makes this a very odd game.
Yeah, and then the next turn, we do see that both of them start to focus around West Africa. It's like Triple H puts 8 in Brazil, and then Horoptatier puts 9 in Chad.
And it was a really good move for HHH to focus on the South American side, but I think he entered a little bit too early.
Yeah.
Because Horoptatier was going to focus on East Africa, and had HHH waited 1 more turn, he would have gained positioning advantage over Horoptatier, but we see that doesn't happen, sadly.
Yep, and then Horoptatier gained in a position to get West Russia as Triple H finishes off Indonesia. Both of them use their reinforcement cards the next turn, since they've gotten pieces every turn, and Triple H putting everything in Nigeria. So he's definitely going to win down there.
Yeah, he's desperate to keep Horoptatier off of South America, because if Horoptatier starts bordering with South America, HHH is going to run into some major problems.
Yeah, so he does sort of manage to get that, except Horoptatier does hit it with a few on his last move to capture Nigeria, after he finishes off West Russia.
Alright, so what we have here is Heroptotир, instead of focusing on the attacks in West Africa, he's more bent on uh, making sure to get that bonus. And that wonderful, beautiful play right there, getting Nigeria, was
Yeah.
just a beautiful move. And criticize me all you want for calling it beautiful, but that was a really great move. I feel that HHH should have anticipated and left one on Nigeria to stop just a normal poke.
At
But
least one.
but man, this move right there, Heroptotир, I don't see how this goes to 27 turns because Heroptotir is just clearly right here and it has the advantage. So it's very interesting that this lasted as long as it did.
Well, we do see next turn Triple H doing a really nice defense. Manages to actually capture back Nigeria.
So that's a shame because that brilliant move that Heroptotir didn't pay off for him in the end.
Yep. He just did not have enough to take that big attack from the behind.
Yeah, this and here's why Indonesia was such a bad pick is because look at how long it's going to take HHH to get that Southeast Asia bonus. It really, man, I don't know why either players put a pick in Indonesia because in this game it's just not that great. If East China was open, I could see it, but or if Central America was open, it would be a good counter against Central America to quickly get over there. But man, in this game, it was just bad idea for HHH to put a first pick there.
Yeah. And then turn 7, it appears he's finally got India. He's about to get Pakistan the next turn, and while he's doing that, Heroptotир is working on Caucasus, and he's just sitting with that big stack in Cameroon.
Which is the safest move for Heroptotir to pull because he doesn't have the positioning advantage anymore, so he just needs to keep on making sure that his income is above HHH, and we're about to see that Heroptotir is going to figure out that HHH started in Indo, so or he'll think that HHH started in India.
Well, he did not go down to Tajikistan. He captured Kyrgyzstan and Eastern Kazakh.
Huh.
Western.
I would have made that play to move down.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that my opponent didn't have Southeast Asia, which was a plausible place. Not really a great place to put a pick, but it was a plausible. So I probably would have checked it.
One thing I don't really agree with, we see Triple H on turn 9 put 14 in Papua New Guinea.
Huh. So he decides to expand into...
Yes, he hits Queensland with 14. I think that's a little bit overkill against a 4.
That
I think he could have used those guys to maybe greater effect.
Well, in the end, it doesn't really matter because he's just not going to be throwing as much in there progressively as he's taking the territories. He's just anticipating taking the whole thing. So, like, there isn't really anywhere else he could expand. So, yeah, that's why he decided to do that.
Oh, and but interestingly, both of them play their next reinforcement cards on turn 10.
Yeah, like Fizzer said, he didn't want to spend armies on future turns, so either way, the total armies that he's going to throw into Australia is going to be the same. It's just that he didn't want to be progressively throwing in armies into Australia, which is an okay move.
Huh. I think both people forgot that they received a reinforcement card on turn 9, so they didn't use it until turn 10. We do see turn 11, or during turn 10, Harappatir does capture Iran, but he loses Tajikistan.
So, right here at turn 10 was when Schwev said something about how he thought HHH was ahead. I'm not really seeing that as much. Oh, I see it in, yeah, when he is able to counter. But it's just, I don't see him as inherently ahead at this turn. I think he's got positioning advantage with one bonus, but it's just such bad picks that he's not going to be able to handle Corruptier that long because of his expansion.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I really think HHH lost at turn 1 when he picked Indo for his first. that was just, yeah. I don't see how he really makes up for it. I mean, he's lucky that Horoptatir is not able to handle HHH that well in Caucasus, but as we see, Horoptatir is starting to gain a major advantage in West Africa.
Ooh, and he uses Triple H uses a order priority to get to Chad.
Or delay.
Well,
Yeah.
he uses order priority to get to Chad, and then that barely lets him keep Chad. But then after that, he uses an order delay, so he used 2 order cards in 1 turn.
I've seen HHH deploy strategies like that quite often, where he'll use an order priority and get something out of the way, and then he'll use an order delay to get everything else out of the way. And the reason why he does this is because it is extremely hard to predict somebody doing a move like that. And so, but right here at turn 12, oh man. Oof, man, Eruptatir just kicks complete butt right there. It's just,
Yeah.
it's
He nearly captures back Caucasus as well.
that. So, I think HHH's turn would have worked a little bit better had Eruptatir not been able to. Luckily, I don't think he was inherently able to predict the moves, but it looks like Eruptatir's moves just happened to fall in the right places. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't see how you would be able to predict somebody using both order priority and an order delay and getting every move right, but Croptotier seems to have just hit right on the mark. It's a remarkable turn right there. So, right there is just an incredible turn.
And we do see that Corruptier is the only one who gets a card that pieced that turn.
Yeah, and now not only has Heruptatir successfully countered everything, but he's also gained the card advantage, so this is just one of the worst turns I've ever seen in all of 1v1 right there. It's just so overwhelmingly.
And we do see that he did end up blockading in Thailand.
Anyways, I think at this point we're seeing that HHH isn't going to be able to really come back off of this because of the army advantage and the card advantage. So.
Oh yeah, and on turn 14, he loses South America, but he's got a big stack in Kazakh now. Caucasus. But yeah, he is down nearly 20 armies. that point.
Right here, Hraptitir loses some of his positioning advantage by letting HHH get Eastern Kazakhstan, which was something that, God, he should not have let that happen. Because what we're looking at here is Hraptitir is able to break a 4 bonus, but now HHH is able to break 2 4 bonuses if he was so inclined to do so.
Yep. Seems he focused on multiple territories within Caucasus and then Central Russia, then further movement
Ooh,
around Central
man.
Russia as he was defending South America.
Hraptitir gaining a lot of South America right there. Right here, even though Hraptitir had that great move, he seems to have lost all of his advantage in Europe. He had such a great advantage in Europe, and he just lost it all.
Yeah, and at turn 17, Triple H actually turns it around and gets a 2 reinforcement advantage. He's still down by 15 armies though, so he's still gonna have some ground to clear up. And with Hraptitir getting that card piece ahead of him on turn 17, he's laying down a card while Triple H doesn't have his yet.
I also think what's interesting here is that both players play an order delay card, which I always hate when that happens. Like, that just always kills me when that happens. You never want somebody playing an order delay card at the same turn. That was the turn before his turn 16, sorry. Sorry if I confused you.
Yep, okay.
Oh, wait. Yeah, no, wait, 17.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
And one big turning point is on turn 17, Hraptitir finishes off South America.
Interesting move. I think he should have focused a little bit more on Europe instead of going for South America here.
And he suffered for it because he lost West Russia.
Like I said, instead of focusing on protecting 2 4 bonuses, he went straight for 1 4 bonus, and the level of play that HHH is at the middle of this game is quite good. I mean, beginning of this game, I didn't really think he was doing that great, but around like turn 11, he started making. After turn 11, he started making really good moves. So, and he's also in position. Interestingly enough, if he decides to do it, he could actually grab Caucasus with his positioning.
What turn are you looking at?
18.
18, yeah.
Had he decided to do that, I mean, he doesn't end up doing it.
Well, with those guys in Pakistan, it would be tough.
Yeah. I think it would have been interesting had he been able to do it, because that would have really screwed Hraptitir over.
And then turn 19. We do see that Triple H does manage to get Hraptitir completely out of Africa, and he's defending in Nigeria now. If he could manage to get that, then he would be in a pretty good position.
Yeah, I'm starting to see why this game lasted so long. Is because it's just been going like Hraptitir advantage, HHH advantage, back to Hraptitir, and right back here we definitely get HHH playing really strong, because now he's in a position to grab West Africa without really any penalties. But also, it looks like Hraptitir is gaining back some momentum in Europe. It looks like he might be able to get that Central Russia. I don't know if he's going to actually be able to do it.
Triple H does commit some guys there.
Mm-hmm.
It appears. Yep, 4. Oh, and Profiteer gets Nigeria, so that hurts Triple H a little bit, makes it so he can't try to get that as a bonus.
Oh man. Yeah, it looks like HHH was anticipating Proptoteer going full into Central Russia and grabbing the bonus,
Hmm.
but Proptoteer decided to switch focus back to Africa. And at this turn, I think Proptoteer has gained back the advantage, but it's funny how long this income gap has lasted,
Yeah.
but it's about evened out now because remember in the beginning of the game, Proptoteer was up. So now that HHH has had this income for a while, he's been doing really good.
And we see that on 21, Profiteer gets his next card. He's still a piece ahead, and he uses that to put a lot in Tajikistan.
Yeah,
Oh, and he managed to get Caucasus.
yeah, that's
That,
game.
that,
That's game
yeah.
right there. That's devastating.
Except he loses Scandinavia, so he's down, and they're
Ooh.
both tied 14.
Hmm. Hmm.
And the next turn, Triple H breaks Georgia. So now he's up 14-9.
Dang. This game just does not want to end.
Ooh, but now he's at a disadvantage in Africa.
He's getting some.
Puts a couple in Kenya. I don't know if he needed those in Kenya. He probably could have used those better somewhere else.
This five income gap should win HHH this game right here.
And except we do see that Triple H was a bit too aggressive in Africa, and he lets Profiteer get pretty much all of that. He knocks him out of Africa, so now he's going to be able to get that bonus freely.
Ouch, man. That that turn right there. I got that feeling.
Yeah. So now Profiteer is evened back up again at 13-14, as
Yep.
they were still fighting in Eurasia. Huh, interesting. Turn 25, Profiteer discards a blockade.
Well, at this point in the game, I don't think that blockade is really going to help him because most,
Yeah.
if not all, of his most of his territories are bordered with HHH at this point, and there's no point in blockading anywhere in, South
Yeah,
America
if he
West.
needed to discard one, that would have been the best. I just find it
Yeah.
interesting that he needed to. He's had these order delays and order priorities, which probably would have helped him out a little bit in various
Has he?
situations.
So he just got that reinforcement card right this turn.
Yes.
Mhm.
He's once again up ahead. Triple H is going to get his next turn.
Yeah, and I think this is really what helps Rocketeer win this game is that he has that card advantage the entire game.
And he uses that this time to put a big stack in Norway, which prevents Triple H from clearing that bonus. He would have had that if he didn't have those extra 5 guys.
Hmm. Yeah, from there that's game.
Because if he had been able to get Scandinavia that turn, then he would be in a much better position to defend the other areas in Eurasia. Turn 25, Triple H again doesn't get a card, so he's even more behind.
2 turns behind in cards. That's devastating, and he's also not able to do anything about West Russia. So all of his expansionary.
Yeah. That
places
and
are just cut.
Raptor's just expanding freely, while Hey is not able to expand really anywhere.
Mm, man.
He does finally get Scandinavia.
Oh,
And
Fizzer says that losing Africa was when HHH came in here and said he wasn't playing well.
oh
And yeah,
yeah,
I see why.
yeah, and we do see, however, the time when Triple H finally gets Scandinavia, that's Frontiers manages to get West Russia that turn. So he
Ooh.
gets the lead 21-17.
And finally, Heroptitude has the lead back. For most of this game, it looked like HHH had the lead,
And HHH finally gets his reinforcement card.
but it doesn't really help him out at this point because the income gap is 4.
Yeah.
So it only lets him stay even with Heroptitude. Yeah.
Oh, and then he loses Scandinavia.
Mm.
Well, he loses Scandinavia, but Frontier lost West Russia. So he was
But
down.
at this point, it's where the income gap stays consistent. So
Hmm.
it's HHH knows he's lost.
Yep. So that's when he surrenders. He concedes defeat. Good game. Hey, hey, hey. Congratulations, Raptor, for advancing to the finals.
All right. Well, all right. The tournament has ended. So, spoiler alert, you know, we already know who's won. And to me, it's not really surprising that he's won. It's surprising that he's come out of retirement for this. Was he out of retirement before this tournament? Perhaps just a little bit. But I have not been seeing anything from Schwenigan until today.
Indeed.
And so,
yep.
So having him back is really kind of cool because you know we get these very interesting games because we get to see somebody who understands predicting your opponent's moves to such an extreme level that it's very hard to play against him. So, anyways, the picks here. Schwenigan with great picks.
Yep. Moscow, Svalbard, Panama, and then Shanghai, Thailand, Scott.
Great picks because you have the one turn bonus in Scandinavia. You have quite a safe bonus for Central America. Then you have the 2-turn bonus of East China and another safe bonus in Antarctica. So, all in all, very good picks.
Yeah, as Fisher says, though, Scandinavia can't quite be a 1-turn because Sweden's not touched.
Oh, it's 2-turn. My bad.
Huh. Yeah, the only one. No, there isn't even a 1-turn. I don't think there is one on this map.
No. My bad then. I thought that Scandinavia was a 1-turn bonus because I'm tired.
I thought it was too until Fisher said that.
My bad. Yeah, there's no 1-turn bonus on this map, and Scandinavia is not that great of a 2-turn bonus to focus on. So his first pick should have been East China and Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, we'll compare that to Raptor, who went Svalbard number 1, and then Malaysia. And followed by Moscow, Panama, Scott, and Australia. That's an interesting pick in Malaysia.
Malaysia? I would understand Malaysia a little bit more if you were going Australia, but um, there's no really supplement pick that he does for Malaysia. I mean, he does have the sixth pick as Australia, but that's overshadowed by the fifth pick in Antarctica. So, not a big fan of these picks.
Hmm.
So, anyways,
Yep. So we will see.
I
We
think
see
out
that.
I think out of the two, Schwinnigan has the pick advantage and somewhat of a positioning advantage because of the East China being able well, actually, he gets Central America, so it doesn't quite matter. But he's able to counter Horoptotyr's picks a little bit better than what Horoptotyr ends up getting.
Yep.
So we see a pick and positioning advantage from Schwinnigan.
Yeah, and we do see Croptier got his first, second, and fifth picks. So he
Which that,
knows. Go ahead.
yeah, that fifth pick in Antarctica isn't really going to help him out much.
Yeah. He just knows that Zvinnigan has Moscow and Panama, so he knows he's not going to be able to get Scandinavia very easily. So he will probably focus either in Scott or Malaysia, neither of which are really great expanding. He can get Antarctica in 2 turns, but 3 turns for Indonesia.
Uh-huh.
And then, Zvinnigan has that Shanghai, which counters it.
I don't know why you would do this, but Horoptotyr could go for Australia, and
Oh, yeah.
it wouldn't be that efficient, but it definitely would be about 2 turns. You could probably do it in 2
3.
turns.
No, I don't.
You
That
don't see
4
2
there
turns.
would
Yeah, that
mess
4
it
would
up.
be a stumbling block. So you could, yeah. If you could have gotten it in 2 turns, then Australia would have been a little bit interesting.
Yeah, if he had like South Australia instead of Scott as the higher option, then he would be able to get that in 2 turns, and that might be a viable option.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering why he made Scott before Australia, because if I were to get down to my fourth or fifth picks, I would want something that actually supplements that Indo pick, and he has nothing that supplements that Indo pick.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and conversely, Finnegan's got his first or his first, third, or first, second, and fourth. No, first, third, and fourth. So he knows that Frontier is in Svalbard, but that's the only one that he knows of.
And they both know that either opponent is around that area,
Yep.
so at least I think Croptotyr should guess that Swinnigan is going to be somewhere around there.
Well, yeah, that he should know it because he had one of his guys, one of his starts
Yeah.
there.
So, yeah, we have positioning and pick advantage going to Swinnigan here.
And we see that first turn, Croptier focusing in South Pole, while Zvennigan focuses in Central America.
Which I think both most logical one to go for.
Mm-hmm.
Because going for Scandinavia would be dangerous considering that Schwinnigan is nearby, and so that makes South Pole his best option with Antarctica, and Schwinnigan, knowing that his East China pick is going to take 3 turns, decides to go for Central America.
And so turn 2, both of them finish off their 3 bonuses, and Frontier moves into Norway, while Zvennigan moves into Jiangxi.
Mm-hmm. So Schwinnigan just, as always, biding his time and waiting until the most logical time to make his appearance in Scandinavia. And knowing that Horoptatier is going to take at least 1 or 2 more turns to get Scandinavia.
And turn 4 he puts 8 down there. And as Horoptatier finishes off Indonesia, they meet in Taiwan, Philippines. So that's one point where they're going to have to be fighting, and then that other one in Moscow, Murmansk.
Now, I think Horoptatier made the wrong move in being the first to go on the offensive, because now he's given Schweinnigan the total army advantage here in Europe. So we're gonna see Schweinnigan probably winning Europe in this matchup, but we'll see if Schweinnigan can hold off in China and Asia.
Yeah, and interestingly, after turn 5, Schweinnigan is up 30 armies total to 22 armies. So that's a significant advantage so early in the game.
Right, and that's because Horoptatier made the first move. He's going for Schweinnigan pretty aggressively. I mean, I think even Sun Tzu said something about how you should, if you have the chance to go onto the offensive, you should wait until your opponent goes onto the offensive, because your opponent is going to use much more resources before you do, because marching an army, eats up more resources than staying put in a camp and waiting for your enemy to come to you. And we see this principle is followed in this game by the fact that Horoptatier had to overcome 2 twos to get over there, so it really loses him that matchup in Europe, and he realizes it and he retreats back to Norway. And I think his thought pattern is maybe try to get that Scandinavian bonus in, so that he can gain an income advantage and gain back the positional advantage over there.
Yep. And so, as we continue on to turn 6, we see a noticeable group in Hong Kong. It seems he's going to break Thailand and go offensive there, as he also moves into Murmansk to push up a little bit in there. However, Horoptatier getting that many guys in the Philippines he could have attacked, and if he had attacked, then he would have broken into Taiwan.
Yeah. The chances are like above 70% for a 10 overcoming. No, I think it's more like 50 to 60% when a 10 overcoming a 6. So, is it worth the chance? Maybe.
10 overcoming a 6 is like really, really high chance.
Is it?
Yeah, because that's 60%.
Yeah. So, I guess he could have gone for it. It was weird.
And then, while this is happening, Schweinnigan took Southeast Asia. So now he's up by 3 reinforcements. So now Horoptatier, not only is he fighting back from an army deficit of 38 to 32, he's also down 3 reinforcements.
Yeah, Intimidator corrected me. 10 versus 6 was actually 90%, so
Yeah.
that would have been a great move. Never mind. Yeah. So, but Horoptatier would have had to predict that Schweinnigan wasn't going to focus too much on Taiwan. So
yeah, it would have been a gamble to attack, because if he had put more there, then he would have just been down even more armies.
when you're playing players this great, you sometimes have to take that risk, though, because if he had taken that risk, he would be in a great position right now.
Yep, and he just said on Skype that, seeing on the turn earlier that he wasn't able to break China, he got last move and predicted that he wouldn't attack China this turn either. That was why he only put that many.
Yeah, if Fizzer agrees that if he had broken into East China, this game would be much longer than 9 turns. It would be a pretty interesting game here on out. But not doing that, he has lost the income advantage and now is losing the positioning advantage, and it looks like Schwinnigan is just going to wreck him after this.
And after that, it seems that Frontier is focusing a lot in Norway, and also moved up to Hawaii.
Don't know
And
how much being able to counter Central America will help out Rocketeer.
yeah, but he gives up Indonesia, and that puts him down 8 to 15. So now he's
Yeah,
down by 7, and that makes it
even
extremely difficult to come back, especially since he's not able to really get an easy bonus right now because Shev is still threatening Scandinavia with Moscow.
he is great positioning Rocketeer, but at this point, you don't want position. At this point, you want income over Schwinnigan to make up that difference because Schwinnigan has had higher income for quite a while. So now that positioning advantage is really overlapped by total army and income. So we're we're seeing that Schwinnigan is just obviously beating the crap out of this guy after this.
Hmm. Oh, he does break on turn 8 East China, which helps even it out a little bit.
Yeah, but at this point, yet again, Schwinnigan just kicking some ass.
Hmm. And then final move, final turn, they both play their second reinforcement cards. And it seems like he's giving Svenigan Indonesia, and then he hits into Hong Kong, losing all of his guys in East China, and that lets Svenigan get both East China and Indonesia. However, Frontier does manage to get him out of Scandinavia at least, but that doesn't even it out because now Svenigan's up at 19 reinforcements.
Mm,
And Frontier down at 8. He could get into Scandinavia, putting him up to 11, and then he would be in a decent position to get eventually, at least, uh, West Russia. But by that time, he's already fighting back from such a deficit that he wouldn't be able to keep up an expanding.
mm-hmm. And also the positions of Scandinavia and West Russia, he wouldn't really have much else to expand to besides the Europe.
Yeah,
That's not gonna help him
all he
out.
could really get is West Russia and then
Yeah,
Greenland or something.
yeah, completely just dominated at that point by Schwinnigan.
Yep. So after that, Frontier admitted defeat. Svenigan took the win. Good game, Frontier. Congratulations, Svenigan, for winning the second ever WarLight live streamed tournament hosted by
Well,
Lolowut.
really, I'm glad that Schwinnigan came out of retirement to play this tournament because it was very informative because his strategy is one of the his strategies are some of the best in WarLight, and it really helps with other players who are watching this look at somebody who's able to predict that well. And we're not only analyzing it, he's actually telling us in the chats and on Skype exactly why he did what he did. So it was very informative coming from Schwinnigan. I
Yep.
think I think all in all it was a great tournament. We had a few upsets with Fizzer being knocked out by Dr. D and Hey 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 being knocked out by Profiteer. But upsets are
Part of the game.
part of the game. It's fun to watch. I was expecting this ending round to be hey versus Schwinigan, but Rocketeer playing that a better game over hey. That was just very well done.
Indeed.
So I think next week we'll do another 1v1. I'll start talking to the 2v2 ladder players about perhaps throwing a 2v2 live tournament, but for now I really think 1v1 is going to be what we're doing for quite a while.
Yeah, it's the easiest to commentate and the quickest to go on because you don't have as many people to organize and everything.
Yeah. Other than that, the other options I was thinking about playing with were actually a no fog game, but I think with Schwinigan coming back and showing us, how that fog really makes the difference in gameplay. I think we're going to have to keep it with strategic 1v1 settings. So all in all, great tournament.
Yep.
Yeah. About our 2v2 game, I'm not providing commentary. It's going to be completely one-sided from Mythonian and Casey Scribe's point
that
of view.
was played like before we even thought of live streaming or whatever.
Yeah, well, it was funny because at the end of the game, I actually told him about my ideas of doing a live stream and told him that I would like it if he came by. So what's interesting about Mythonian's Let's Plays is the fact that he's recording them as he's playing. So, of course, he waits until the end of the game to post everything on YouTube because.
Well, it's like even really then it takes like weeks because I've got so much recorded. Oh gosh, I've got hours and hours and hours of video that I still need to upload.
And then you have to cut it and put it in a...
Oh well, it's like most of it's already done with that. It's just can't upload it fast enough.
Anyways, yeah, like Schwinigan said, it takes away 90% of the skill because I think most of the skill in this game has to deal with being able to predict where your opponent is and how your opponent is responding to the situation. The other option that we want Fizzer to play with is hiding the winners so that while we're broadcasting, people might be able to go to the tournament and see the winner, but as we're broadcasting, nobody will actually know the winners unless we say so. And then the second option I wanted to play with is actually being able to click on a player and see their perspective with the fog. That's done for the next update, the first one or the second one.
Well, that should help things be a little bit more interesting and a little bit less predictable, or a little bit more of a surprise when the people actually find things out like that.
It won't show the winners. Yeah, that'll definitely work. Anyways, thank you, Fizzer, for actually changing my settings into a real-time tournament.
Okay, so anyone in the chat or anything have any other suggestions about things we could improve for the future? Anything you'd like to see done? Anything that you think was done badly today that could be done better tomorrow or next week or whatever.
Okay. Well, yeah, we could probably block the lower right box, but I think
Well, that displays reinforcements and things like that. I mean, I could block that pretty easily. I mean, it takes me 10 seconds to put something there, but
yeah, then we
the
wouldn't be able
correct
to
start
see
time.
we wouldn't be able to see the incomes, and I don't
Well,
feel like counting it.
we could. It's just they wouldn't.
Yeah,
I can have
they
it
wouldn't
only
be able
part
to
of the
see.
stream, part of the overlay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, like Schwinnigan said, when you enter the game through the tournament page, it'll show the winner. So,
yeah. So we won't really need to block it.
but alternatively, what I can do is I can actually feed Mythonian the games, the link to the games. So, yeah, it's a block is the tournament screen. And what I'll do is I'll feed Mythonian the game so he can go directly to the game instead of having to go through the tournament page. So that'll be
Yeah.
fine.
Like I can have a separate bracket thing that doesn't show who wins until we actually announce it or
Yeah.
something.
And the only ones that won't announce is probably
Either
the
when we're
ones that
going
we're
to
not
skip
going
it,
to.
yeah, or
Yeah,
if
when
we're
we're gonna
actually going to
skip
go
it.
over it after we're done with it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that sounds pretty good. Looking forward to next week. Hopefully we have an even larger turnout next week, and hopefully it doesn't take us so long to get a last person to join.
Yeah.
Hopefully we don't have any technical difficulties of people not being able to join the game. Or
Yeah,
anything
and
like that.
this time I'll make the time zones a little less confusing for Europeans. But yeah, I'll make sure that I update it in according to DST because I realized that that was a little bit confusing. Well, Fizzer, it wasn't exactly your fault because you're right. I'm technically in the time zone GMT -5, but when the way that I think of it is that I'm in the time zone GMT -6. It's just that DST is applied. If that makes any sense. That's the way I.
What Fizzer was mentioning though was the fact that David user wasn't able to join the game.
Oh, alright. Yeah.
But I think having it set to real time evened that out. That was definitely an advantage because those people or the people who weren't going to be active could actually be booted.
Was anybody actually booted?
I don't think so, but you know, just having the possibility there.
Yeah. I thought a few of the people were going to end up get booted, but let's see. Oh yeah, GW Bush ended up being booted.
Oh, he did?
So yeah, he's not going to be
okay.
next live tournament. And I'm not going to automatically invite him like I did this tournament. Everybody else seemed to actually get in and play.
Yep.
Wait a minute, was Kaiser? Yeah, Kaiser ended up booted too.
Oh. Okay, well, once again, congratulations to Shavinigan. Which that's probably butchering the name again, but you know, close enough.
And we'll see you next week.
Yep, as always, this has been Mythonian.
And Lolowut.
And thank you guys for watching.